I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty disappointed in something that came from BlizzCon. And not the announcement itself, but the community's just absurd response to it, the pure toxicity that is showing from the Blizzard fan crowd, and I'm not entirely sure why. If you missed it, at BlizzCon 2018, Blizzard announced a new mobile game for Diablo called Diablo Immortal, and just had a super basic gameplay trailer for it, and then a really kick-ass cinematic trailer for it. As soon as they mentioned that it was on mobile, the entire audience groaned, and then at some point later on, apparently the audience booed them, and then during the Q&A with the devs, someone got up and asked if it was an April Fool's joke. You don't do that. Why would you be an asshole to the developers? I understand that people were excited and are very much anticipating Diablo 4 or whatever the next big Diablo is. And yes, the timing of this announcement at BlizzCon, where, their hardcore audience is mainly attending because they're paying to attend, was not necessarily the smoothest move. This would have been better as like an in-between things kind of teaser announcement between sections or something. But none of this takes away from Diablo itself. And the reaction has been absurd. There's over 250,000 dislikes on the cinematic trailer and quite a lot on the gameplay trailer. And people are just bandwagon hating all of this in the subreddit, in the YouTube comments, just saying some really disgusting stuff about trying to make these developers feel bad for this. But here's the thing. Diablo 4 has been in development for a while and is not affected by this game. They brought in an outside team that specializes in making these kinds of ARPG mobile games to work on this. Now, a big thing people are just throwing out there, completely baseless, is that it's just a reskin of a game that a Chinese mobile company had already made. While that would be disappointing, Blizzard's very rarely that lazy. The Blizzard quality, the seal of quality from Blizzard is never that. It would be beyond surprising to see that was actually the end result. There's no reason to expect that until we see more of the game. And in fact, when publishers and studios bring in teams to develop games that they don't specialize in, this is how it's done. That mobile game company already had the engine, the tech, and the expertise of developing these kinds of games on mobile, so it made far more sense to bring them on to develop a Diablo mobile experience than to just try to make it all up yourself. So yeah, while the team has already made similar style games, that doesn't make this a reskin. It doesn't even begin to make sense. That's not how this works. That's not how Blizzard works. I'm so disappointed and embarrassed in the Blizzard community at the moment for how they're responding to it and how they're just treating the company. And while, yes, some giant multi-million-dollar company doesn't need defending necessarily, Blizzard is very much a different side of the coin from Activision in the Blizzard Activision, or Activision Blizzard parent company. They don't usually do things wrong. That's a very big blanket statement that can't be taken at face value. But, they don't do the things that Activision normally does, and there's no reason to blame that. And in fact, my first reaction to the mobile game was, oh, it's not a normal game. But hey, it looks fun if you're into mobile games. And very much so. The issue here is hardcore fans don't like mobile games. Well, hardcore fans want the hardcore main game franchise releases, and that's it. And they laugh and get all elitist and making fun of other gamers. But games can't survive purely on the hardcore fan base in 2018. Sure, back in the 90s when Diablo and Diablo 2 and the original StarCraft came out and things like that, all games were inherently just for the hardcore fan base, and they survived fine for it because those were the only people buying the games. It's not the case anymore. And in 2018, you have to kind of appeal to more people. And that's never a bad thing, especially when it's a separate release. Like, there are so many people who have discovered their passion for gaming and who are playing games and looking for new franchises and things like that, who either can't afford or are not in a region that supports buying like a traditional console or PC, or just game on mobile. This game will introduce tons of new players to the Diablo franchise, to the Blizzard existence, and give them an opportunity to discover the game and play it. It's about accessibility. New people coming in and discovering and liking your favorite game franchise can never be a bad thing. And this means more money for Blizzard to help further increase the probably ridiculous budget of Diablo 4 thus far, and keeps interest in Diablo going. And while it might be annoying that Diablo 3 now has just about as many ports as Skyrim does, it's still, this is how games work. The mobile game doesn't take away from Diablo 4. Diablo 4's been in development, and I don't know what happened to people who just suddenly stopped appreciating the quote-unquote Blizzard soon approach, kind of like the Valve time approach, wherein both StarCraft 2 and Diablo 3 took 12 years from their previous game to come out. Blizzard never just pops out sequels this quickly. There's no reason to expect they would. By normal Blizzard time, we don't have another Diablo until 2020, 2024. We got a little while. I don't understand what's happening here. If you truly like this company, why are you treating it so poorly? They do so much for their community. Like, they're allowed to make a mobile game. And again, the announcement timing was not a great decision. But people are demanding that they fix this or make it right with the fans, but you can't just undo an announcement. They're still going to release the game if it's good enough to them. I mean, this is the same company that chooses not to release basically finished games because they decided it's not good enough anymore. Like, I'm just blown away by how ridiculous this community has been. And obviously, it's a vocal minority. It's not the entire community. But this is just so disappointing. This is an opportunity for so many more people to get into the game. It's an opportunity for Diablo to have a better place. Like, it looks like it would be fun as a mobile game. Now, I don't play a whole lot of mobile games because I'm not a fan of the platform and the screen's too small. But if I had like a giant iPad Pro, or for whatever reason, which they won't since Diablo 3 is there, but if they were to port the mobile game to Switch, like, that would be a great place to play it. And it would be more Diablo content, which is not a bad thing. I don't know. I guess I've said how I am. I'm disappointed. I'm embarrassed by the reaction here. And I hope people who think that they're the ultimate hardcore fan and that the company should only cater to their needs and can't see beyond their own keyboard that they're smashing angry comments into, I just hope they get a little bit of a better perspective and grow the hell up, I guess.